Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, checking your bank account, and seeing that your debt balance is exactly zero. No more monthly payments, no more high-interest anchors dragging you down, just pure financial freedom. 2 years ago, I was buried under $50,000 of high-interest debt, feeling like I was running on a treadmill that was moving way too fast. But I found a way out, and today, I'm giving you the exact blueprint I used to pay it all back without living on ramen noodles for the rest of my life. The very first thing we have to do, and this is the hardest part, is the financial audit. Most people stay in debt because they're too scared to look at the monster under the bed. You need to open every single app, every paper statement, and list it out, the total balance, the interest rate, and the minimum payment. When I did this, I realized I wasn't just paying back what I borrowed, I was paying hundreds of dollars a month just in interest. That was the wake-up call I needed to stop being a renter of my own life and start being an owner. Now, let's talk strategy. You've probably heard of the debt snowball and the debt avalanche. The snowball, popularized by Dave Ramsey, is about momentum, paying off the smallest balances first to get those quick wins. But because we're focusing on high CPM finance and smart investing, we're going to look at the avalanche. This is where you target the debt with the highest interest rate first. By killing the high interest debt, you're essentially getting a guaranteed return on your money that no savings account can match. Once you have your target, it's time to find the hidden money in your budget. I'm not talking about skipping your $5 latte, I'm talking about the big three: housing, transport, and food. I realized I was house poor and spending way too much on a car I barely used. I negotiated my insurance, canceled subscriptions I forgot I had, and started inverse budgeting. This means I paid my debt the second my paycheck hit, rather than waiting to see what was left at the end of the month. Here is a pro tip for those of you in the US, UK, or Canada: the balance transfer play. If you have a decent credit score despite your debt, you can often move high-interest credit card debt to a 0% APR card for 12 to 18 months. This stops the bleeding. Every single dollar you pay goes directly to the principal. I did this with $15,000 of my debt, and it saved me over $2,000 in interest alone. It's like hitting the pause button on your debt's growth. But you can't just cut your way to freedom, you have to earn your way there too. To hit my 2-year goal, I knew I needed an income engine. I didn't just want a second job, I wanted high-leverage side hustles. I started freelancing my professional skills on platforms like Upwork and focused on high-ticket niches. If you can earn an extra $500 or $1,000 a month and put every cent toward your debt, the math changes instantly. You're not just walking toward the finish line, you're sprinting. Let's talk about the debt fatigue. About 6 months in, the excitement wears off. This is where most people quit and go back to old habits. To beat this, I gamified my progress. I had a physical tracker on my wall, a simple bar graph, and every time I paid off $1,000, I colored it in. Seeing that visual progress is a massive dopamine hit. It reminds you that even though you aren't there yet, you are much further than you were 30 days ago. Another crucial step is understanding the opportunity cost of your debt. For every dollar I was sending to the bank for my car loan, that was a dollar that wasn't sitting in a high-yield savings account or a diversified ETF. When you realize that your debt isn't just costing you money today, but it's literally stealing your future retirement wealth, your mindset shifts from "I have to pay this" to "I need to kill this monster now." During year 2, things started to accelerate. This is called the debt velocity phase. As your smaller debts disappear, the monthly payments you used to send to them get added to the payment for the next debt. It's a compounding effect in reverse. By the 18-month mark, I was sending 3 times the minimum payment to my final loan. It felt like I was finally winning the game, and the stress that had been sitting on my chest for years finally started to lift. One thing I had to learn was how to say no to lifestyle creep. When I got a raise at my 9 to 5, I didn't buy a new watch or upgrade my apartment. I acted like that money didn't exist and sent it straight to the debt. This is what separates the people who stay in the middle class from the people who actually build wealth. You have to be willing to live like no one else now, so that later, you can live and invest like no one else. We also need to talk about your emergency fund. It sounds counterintuitive to save money while you have debt, but I kept $1,000 in a separate account at all times. Why? Because life happens. Your car will need a repair, or your laptop will break. If you don't have a small buffer, you'll just reach for the credit card again, breaking the cycle and destroying your morale. That $1,000 is your anti-debt shield. As I approached the final $5,000, the feeling was indescribable. I started looking at the stock market differently. I wasn't looking at it as something I hoped to do one day, I was looking at it as my next mission. Debt freedom isn't the end goal, it's the starting line for true wealth creation. When you have no debt, your risk tolerance goes up, and your ability to leverage your income into assets becomes your new superpower. The day I made that final payment, all $50,000 gone, I didn't go out and have a big party. I sat in silence for a moment and realized that I finally owned 100% of my labor. Every hour I worked from that point on belonged to me, not the bank. My credit score had jumped over 100 points, my anxiety was gone, and I had built the discipline of a millionaire. That discipline is worth more than the $50,000 itself. So, what's the first step for you? Today, I want you to go and build that monster list we talked about in part 1. Don't overthink it, don't judge yourself for past mistakes, just get the numbers on paper. If you found this blueprint helpful, hit that like button and subscribe. I'm making more videos on how to invest the money you've freed up to reach a 7-figure net worth. You've got this. I'll see you in the next one.